Krystal Ball and Cenk bury the hatchet. So pretty interesting headline choice.
Yeah, 100%. It seems to be a little bit clickbaity in my opinion. Like from what I can tell in this interview, there's not an actual moment where they like address that debate you referenced or really bury the hatchet, other than just having a normal conversation as they've had many times, including recently. Like I'm pretty sure Cenk was on KKF since that big debate, and it went totally fine. Like I think they already kind of had buried the hatchet, so I think the title is a little bit clickbait. Not that we can judge other channels for posting clickbait, obviously, but that being said, I think you're right, Zach, that this moment towards the end is definitely worth reacting to. And I think in addition to the clip we're going to take a look at next from Anna, I think it does kind of prove that TYT realized they done fucked up a little bit with the direction they started to go in, and that they're starting to seriously backtrack now in a real way, which I'm here for. I'm not gonna turn it down. So let's take a look at this, and we can judge how authentic Cenk is being, and Anna next.
That lane, because there are too many people who are well aware of the stakes that we're up against right now and who see things clearly the way that we're able to see things clearly, that it can't be a Gavin Newsom, it can't be a Cory Booker, it can't be a Pete Buttigieg. I mean, for me, the critical thing is you do need to have a bit of that. Like, I think the resistance libs were right about that FU Trump energy, honestly. They were right about his moral character. They were right about their like dire warnings. They were right about all of that. But you have to marry that with the populist, like in a revolutionary way, populist economic platform and anti-war platform as well. You have to put those things, two things together. In any case, I am extremely confident that we're going to have at least one, if not multiple candidates who fit the mold there that we'll be excited to get behind. So, that's where I'm hopeful. That's what I'm looking towards, because I think it's I don't mean to be too hyperbolic, but I genuinely think it's our only chance to not end up in something that is truly even more dystopian than what we're experiencing now. I mean, I really think a lot about AI and where that's heading. And I don't think we can even wrap our heads around the level of power and money that will be consolidated. They really want to win like a final battle against the American worker. That's how high the stakes are. So, that's how I'm looking at the next few years.
Yeah. I don't want to look, on the one, I love that resistance libs are turning around. I love it. And you know me, I take yes for an answer. I just can't help but say, like, we all knew Trump was a con man. That wasn't like the entire left was united on that. That's not the issue. And so for me, for example, I think attack the politicians, attack the...
Cenk did say the establishment was defeated the night that Donald Trump was elected president, and that he was feeling very optimistic, and that he never called him a fascist, and he was hella ready to work with them. So I think he is really rewriting history there, but Krystal being charitable and letting him, have the floor.
Yeah, Cenk's like, Trump's a con man, and it takes one to know one. That's how I can accurately identify him as such.
Media, don't attack the voters. We need the voters. Bring them to our side, right? But
I mean, I agree and I abide by that. However, I have to say that 30% of the country that is cool with the Nazi posting and that thinks that we should be a blood and soil ethno state, we are not winning them over.
And we don't have to.
We shouldn't be in coalition. Yeah, and we don't have to. You're right about that. We don't have to. Yeah. So I want all the best things for them, right? I want them to have the universal health care thing too. And I think people will be de-radicalized over time as their material needs are met. But I also am not looking through rose-colored glasses about where the country is right now and the distressingly high, not a majority, but distressingly high number of people who are totally excited about, not just accepting of, excited about an overtly fascist project. And I just think we have to be clear-eyed about that.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with you, Krystal. It's just that when we say that, it makes...
And now he doesn't plow into his, I don't believe Donald Trump is fascist spiel, which he would have in the past right here, which I think is another sign of his evolution.
Well, to be fair, he did actually argue with Anna about that, and Anna was saying that Trump's not a fascist, and Cenk was saying Trump obviously is a fascist. Cenk's given contradictory messages this whole time, but there is that clip of him disagreeing with Anna, where Anna was disputing Trump as a fascist.
True. And there's also the clip of Cenk on Krystal Kyle and Friends where he said he's a Nazi, and they ran with that headline. But depending on who he's talking to, he would plow right in and be like, I never said he was a fascist, which, again, just shows the dishonesty of this man's commentary.
All Trump voters feel like we're saying that they're on the extreme edge. And so, and the reality is, like, yeah, you're right. Like I mentioned, the 35% supporting ICE, et cetera. But you mentioned Greenland, and a poll out as only 4% of the country in favor of attacking Greenland, right? So even among the 35% that you're concerned about,
Yeah.
like even an overwhelming majority of them are like, attack Greenland.
Yeah,
And
but
most
watch what
freaking
happens with the
mind.
polls once Trump does it.
No, for sure. It'll move up, right?
Yeah.
And Greenland won't be hard to conquer. So that's not the
No.
issue. But anyways, but the most important point is we don't need them. It's okay. It's okay. And you're totally right. If we win and it's a populist and he actually does the right things, and for the first time ever, they see somebody doing something for the American people instead of the donor class, oh, that'll change a generation of voters, for sure. That's what happened with FDR and happened to some degree with JFK and LBJ. So, okay, let's all hope. Let's hope we get the right person. Let's hope that they actually
Let's
deliver.
hope we have a revolution. I agree, 100%.
I'm just like, in contrast to Crystal Ball, Cenk's commentary is so lacking, and he's also just been transparently wrong about everything over the last 12, 13 months.
Yeah, but only 4% of the Nazis want to invade Greenland. So that proves that, there's a lot of good Nazis out there, right?
Literally, that's what he's arguing. And it's crazy. And Crystal Ball does such a great job of addressing that. He's like, well, only 4% of people approve of this, so that means that they're breaking with Trump. And she's like, wait till he does it. Then it'll be like fucking 85% of people who had voted for him previously are like, you know what? This isn't such a bad idea. It's a good long-term investment in natural resources. They will spin it immediately. Michael Knowles will spin it immediately. All these other assholes, they'll spin it immediately.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Pretty crazy shit. But yeah, I thought Crystal did a great job, as always, totally killing it. So that was pretty interesting. And, I do think that, as Krystal and Kyle have pointed out when it comes to TYT from a while, they just made the wrong decision at the outset of Trump 2.0. I think TYT, Cenk and Anna, they really did think, because they're two in their own heads as far as the business aspect and views and courting an audience, and they were tired of being in a little bit of a lull, as far as their popularity was concerned. And they really did make a calculation that, like, we have to cuddle up to MAGA, we have to pander to MAGA, because this is the way the winds are blowing, and this is a right-wing country now, and Trump has just got reelected, and we have no other choice but to build bridges with idiots like Glenn Beck and Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk and all the people that we reacted to and gave them so much fucking shit for fraternizing with and drinking a beer with and all that crap, right? They really did think that was what was necessary, apparently, stupidly. But as Crystal and Kyle always pointed out, I think it was specifically Kyle that said it on our show, it's like TYT could have been the #1 show in the whole fucking world if they had taken the opposite approach. And instead of trying to pander to MAGA, instead of trying to cuddle up to right-wing shows, they should have been the #1 anti-Trump show, calling them out viciously over and over again, basically taking the lane that other channels like Midas Touch ended up kind of being able to grab because TYT evacuated that lane for no reason. And Crystal and Kyle were 100% right about that. TYT could have grown so much over the last year if, instead of doing that stupid bullshit, they had just been the #1 loudest, proudest anti-Trump show. But they didn't do that. I think they're now realizing that they should have. I think they're now realizing that Kyle was right, that Crystal was right. And in addition to, the business side of things, I also genuinely think that both Cenk and Anna have both been shocked and a little bit radicalized by just how fascist Trump has gone, specifically over the last 2 months and stuff. The shootings of Renee Good, the Gestapo in the streets, the papers please-ification of the United States of America, and again, even the assault on American citizens. I think it has genuinely radicalized them, and it just caused them both to go like, all right, we got to go in the other direction now. We got to backtrack.
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance.